Good morning. It is February the 19th and it is a pretty spectacular full moon. Really happy that you're here to join me. So find yourself in a super comfortable position, whether that be lying down or sitting upright. Whichever way you choose, just make sure your spine is as straight as you can comfortably get it. Let your eyelids rest. And just start to connect into your breath. We can begin with a very simple ujjayi breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. And feeling that breath as it moves through the throat. A very gentle contraction of the throat to allow the sound of the breath to be felt in your throat. Ujjayi breath. So the breath becomes almost like an ocean tide. The inhale, the exhale. You're letting your awareness be completely focused on that inward, outward tide of your breath. It's deeply soothing, deeply relaxing, deeply calming ujjayi breath. And so these waves of the ujjayi breath help us to go inside. They carry our awareness to our internal landscape. So that the senses are less drawn by the outside of ourselves. And the adventure begins on the inside. As we take our awareness down into our pelvic bowl, we connect to Mula Bandha, the beautiful, almost like a figure of 8, band of muscle that makes up the pelvic floor. In the very center of that is the perineum. So if you contract and lift the muscles of the perineum, you start to activate what's known as Mula Bandha in yoga, the root chakra. Still working with ujjayi breath, this steady, easy, soothing breath. We're going to practice Magdalene meditation today. You could begin by gently allowing this beautiful kernel of light to drop into the pelvis as you inhale. And as you exhale, letting that light rest deep inside the pelvis. Letting the ujjayi breath be soft and allowing the body to be soft. Notice if any tension has crept into the shoulders or the neck, to the hands, into the tongue, little pockets where we seem to store up our tension. Just let everything become soft and heavy. And every inhale brings this beautiful drop of light into the pelvis. You can be met with a gentle contraction from Mula Bandha. And as you exhale, let that light settle into the cells, maybe starting to spread. And so the light spreads through the entire pelvic bowl, creating a warmth, a glow of light. The inhale, dropping more light into the pelvis. The exhale, sending that light out into the nooks and crannies, every corner within the pelvis. Seeking out any remaining space of darkness and letting the light flood into that space. And the light keeps on moving, keeps on dancing. It's almost throbbing with the breath, the inhale drawing it into the very heart of the pelvis. The exhale allowing it to expand, to spread. On the next inhale, drawing light down deep into the well of the pelvis. And as you exhale this time, starting to send the light up through the channel of the spine. So beginning at the tailbone and the sacrum, moving up through the lower back. Moving to whatever place you're able to sense, you're able to trace that movement to. On the exhale, maybe you can come right the way up between the shoulder blades. Maybe you can come up through to the lower neck, back of the neck, the back of the head. And with time, maybe the exhale can carry the breath right the way up the spine, taking the light all the way up to the very crown of your head. So the movement of the light follows the breath. The spine becomes almost like a runway of light. The inhale carrying the light down to the very deepest part of the pelvis. Moving down through the sacrum, through the tailbone, into the point of the perineum. And as you exhale, the light travels back up through the sacrum, up through the lower spine, mid-spine, shoulders, neck, up to the very crown of your head, filling the space even around your head, your subtle body, as well as your physical, with light. Allowing the next inhale to take you down through the spine, down through the tailbone to the perineum. And as you exhale, sending that light up back through the spine, this time guiding the light to the space of the third eye, directly between the eyebrows, 1.5 inches to the very center of the brain, 1.5 inches behind the front of your face. Trust that you know where that place is. And use the exhale to send the light to that exact spot of the third eye. So the breath is moving through you like a tide, carrying the light of your awareness. The inhale traveling down into the very deepest part of the pelvis. Pelvis flooded with light. The exhale carrying you up the spine to the space of the third eye. Letting the inhale carry you down into the pelvis, moving the light as you breathe, and letting the exhale carry you up to the space of the third eye, and then letting the light spread around the skull. So it's moving almost like a mist through the tiny turns and corners and rivulets of the brain. Every nook and cranny, letting the exhale spread it far and wide within the skull. Inhale, traveling down to the pelvis. Exhale, traveling up to the third eye and within the skull. That gentle, smooth ujjayi breath continuing as you deliberately move light around your body. Inhaling, taking that light down deeper, deeper, deeper still. And now as you exhale, taking the light up the spine, and at the very base of the skull, finding the very thin membrane that moves between the skull and the brain. Almost like a hood around the back of your head. And letting the light flood through this very thin membrane, spreading around the back of your head, coming up to the hairline. So it's almost like a cloak. And gently allowing the visualization to soften. Allowing the lips to soften into a smile, continuing with the ujjayi breath, but in an even more gentle manner. If you're sitting with your spine tall, then maybe drop your right ear to your right shoulder, chin down to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and come up and over, doing beautiful circles with your head. If you're lying down, do some shoulder circles. Maybe do some hip circles. For those of you sitting, change direction so the head circles go in the other way. And then circling or wriggling any part of you that wants to circle or wriggle. And take your arms up above your head and stretch the whole way through the body. Feel the delicious arch of the lower back as you do so. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back down to your side. Take your hands together in prayer at your heart space. Drop your chin down towards your fingertips. And we close the practice with the word Namaste, which can be translated as the light in me sees the light in you